From Nutrien Ag Solutions, I'm Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. Coming to you a day later than I usually do with the observance of the Labor Day holiday in the U.S. yesterday, rolling my Monday video content over to Tuesday morning. So we'll get talking about what we've got looking at the week ahead, and we've got pretty favorable harvest conditions continuing across Western Canada as we head through the first half of September. As I animate the satellite picture here as the sun comes up on Tuesday morning, we've got two storm systems of interest right now making their way across the region. One is exiting and really impacting the northern plains of the U.S., the upper Midwest right now, with some cooler air filtering in on the back side of that. And then we've got another approaching disturbance here across portions of Western Canada, some light rain making its way into the Grand Prairie area, areas north of Calgary, and then west of Edmonton across far western Alberta, picking up some light rain here on Tuesday morning. And then we've got some showers and some isolated storms across southern and southeastern Manitoba. The Winnipeg area seeing some raindrops here early on Tuesday morning, and that shower and storm activity continues south into the northern plains of the upper Midwest, and will eventually bring some showers and storms into my backyard down here in Illinois. As we look at the temperatures here again, mid-morning on Tuesday, that cooler, drier air filtering in on the backside of the storm system we've got right here. You can kind of make out the frontal boundary, that stark difference between temperatures in the mid to upper 20s ahead of the front, and then in the mid to lower teens behind the front, and then single digits across the Canadian Prairie here on Tuesday morning. So you look at the last 7 days of precipitation, it has continued to be a theme of, isolated to scattered pockets of shower and thunderstorm activity. A lot of folks continuing to see dry conditions across the region. And as we look at the next 7 days, isolated to scattered shower and storm activity is going to continue to be the theme, with mostly favorable harvest conditions continuing across the Canadian Prairie. As we look at the ensemble picture here, this is a smoothed out look at the next 7 days of precipitation, highlighting where we might expect the heaviest pockets to be. The first one across southern and southeastern Manitoba. Again, we continue to see more, maybe a higher concentration of showers and storm activity as you make your way toward the higher elevations, the front range of Alberta, kind of Grand Prairie to Calgary, up toward Edmonton has continued to kind of be an active area. So continuing to see waves of showers and storms across that area. And then as we get to our mid to late week, we could see a corridor of showers and storms make their way across areas south of Highway 16. We'll take a look at that in more specific nature here a little bit deeper in this forecast video. Now here's a look at the jet stream. We're looking at this with the height anomalies at 500 millibars. This helps us kind of pick out mid-level disturbances. And so again, this is the first wave making its way through parts of the northern plains, the upper Midwest of the U.S., and then we've got this next upper-level disturbance across the border of British Columbia and the Pacific Ocean, making its way into the prairie over the next couple of days. Now, as I hit play on this, we'll animate the pattern, and we start to kind of pinch off a ridge as we get into the weekend, early next week. That's going to allow dryness to kind of, take back over and allow some heat to build back into the region as well. We'll start to see those temperatures climb, especially across portions of Alberta. Now, timing out some of the precipitation over the next 7 days or so, again, starting off on Tuesday morning, that rain across southern and southeastern Manitoba, and then all the way back toward the west. So kind of, on the western and eastern borders of the prairie, we've got some shower activity here on Tuesday. We'll take it into Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and then Wednesday morning. As we wake up tomorrow morning, that trailing wave starting to bring some shower and storm activity from northern Alberta into northern and central Saskatchewan. The rain has tapered off across southern Manitoba. The first wave kicks out of here Wednesday night, the trailing wave starts to kick out of here Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then we just see very light shower activity potentially sweeping across Saskatchewan on Thursday morning into portions of Manitoba as we get into Friday morning. This is when we start to develop that ridge across the region, seeing those warmer temperatures, seeing a period of drier conditions late week heading on into the weekend, just kind of sneaking in with that. Again, there's kind of that third system that comes in Friday, Saturday, maybe lingering to Sunday morning, and then, getting out here. We're talking about 5-6 days out into the future, really lacking confidence in the timing and intensity of this, but just kind of keep in the back of your minds portions of southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. The chance for a round of showers and storms maybe Friday night into Saturday, maybe lingering into Sunday morning before we see those the drier conditions come in. And then the next question mark is going to be a bit deeper into next week, getting all the way out into around day 10. I'll show you what that looks like here as we look at the jet stream winds. Now, really a pretty messy picture. It's when we see a very concentrated, organized, strong jet stream that we see very active, widespread rounds of rain or big impactful storm systems. And when we see really disorganized flow like this, and what I'm talking about is, a storm system here, a little, piece of a wave right there. We've got another wave making its way in here. Here's a disturbance. There's a disturbance. We've got this, kind of stronger flow that we're on the back end of here across the prairie. A lot of different things going on. And that leads us to kind of a hard to predict, uncertain pattern that, again, is not going to offer much in the way of organized, widespread soaking rain. It's just going to be periods of, here comes a little disturbance, parts of Alberta, maybe parts of Saskatchewan are going to get some showers and storms from this. We won't see these big interrupting storm systems, at least none of that in the forecast as we head through the first half of September. Now, as I play this out, we do start to see a little bit more of an organized push from the jet stream right here. And this is getting all the way into mid to late next week. This is September 13th, 14th, 15th. Here you start to see it organizing and pushing in off the Pacific Ocean. This could potentially give us a window of maybe an organized storm system or two coming in mid-month. But this I have got big questions about. We're talking about, 10 days out into the future in a relatively hard to predict pattern. So we'll have time to talk about this next Monday morning if it's going to come to fruition. We can hammer out any specifics there, but I'm giving you pretty much a green light here with scattered interruptions to the harvest over the next 2 weeks through the middle of September. Again, you'll see the red begin to expand there across the prairie as we head into the weekend early next week, looking at that warmer period of temperatures to accompany the ridging across the region, again, over the weekend into early next week. And then as I show you side by side, the European on the left, the GFS on the right, total precipitation over the next 2 days. The next 10 days. How about that? That'll actually do a little bit good for you. So what I want to draw your attention to across the prairie, not much going on. We're looking, at a 10-day time period. We're going to be looking for areas like this. You see all the heavy rain across portions of, Ontario, Quebec, the northeastern United States, even some heavier pockets of rain across the northern plains being forecast by the European model. And then you see all the heavy precipitation across coastal areas of British Columbia and the Pacific Ocean from that stronger push from the jet stream, probably most of that coming over the weekend into early next week, kind of days 5 through 8, 5 through 9. My point being, the first half of September will not be completely dry across the prairie, but it will be mostly dry. Most areas will see more dry days than wet, and the rain that does make its way in is going to be in the form of passing storm systems that don't spend more than a day or so in your backyard, bringing isolated to scattered shower and storm activity. I hope I'm painting a picture here for you over the next 10 days, getting us through the first half of September. I'll let the ensembles kind of finish that job. This is the probability of picking up half an inch or more of total precipitation over the next week, taking us through the weekend. Again, the European model may be picking up some heavier rain across southern and southeastern parts of Manitoba. The GFS says, sure, maybe some of that across southern Manitoba. Same thing here across parts of central Alberta into northern and western portions of Saskatchewan, kind of this corridor that's continued to see periods of showers and storms. Could see a pocket or two of some locally heavy rainfall over the next 7 days. But then we head on into, the middle of September, and this is where we've got some questions. We head into, this is September 10th, the weekend. You follow the jet stream here. This is when we kind of pinch off that ridge. We've got a patch of stronger jet stream flow well off to our south. This gives us generally warm, dry conditions. Then as we go deeper into that forecast period, still with the European ensemble, we get into the middle of September. This is the 15th of September. We see the split flow still, but a push of organized jet stream flow into the prairie. Could we see a run of maybe an organized storm system or two mid-month? Certainly. We'll have to talk about that as we get into next week. We then take it one step further all the way out to September 20th, still with the European ensemble. Continue to see this split flow across the region. Now we're not so much seeing that push of jet stream, flow into Western Canada. We're seeing us really experiencing more of the impacts of this split flow. This would likely continue drier conditions into the third week of September. Now, the question is always, is this model kind of reverting to, this is a pretty strong El Nino look, so it could be that the model is saying, I don't really know what's going to happen, 15, 16 days from now, but climatologically, this is what should be happening. This is what we have to kind of ask ourselves. But what I can tell you here as we talk on Tuesday, September 5th, is that really into the middle of September, perhaps even into the third week of September, I think overall favorable conditions for the harvest across the Canadian prairie. We'll look at those temperatures to finish it off. You see the impact of the ridging as we get toward the weekend. Early next week, those temperatures climbing from the upper teens in Calgary to anywhere in the low to mid-20s. In Calgary, Edmonton, very similar looks. 17 for the high on Wednesday, 23 for the high next Monday. Saskatoon, you're really a little bit, a little more even-keeled, keeping those temperatures in the low to middle 20s through much of the week. Same look here in Regina. We're a little cooler here on the backside of the storm system in Winnipeg, but we'll see those temperatures rising toward the later part of the week as well. Hope you have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you 6 days from now. We'll get back on normal schedules next Monday, September. That would be the 12th. Have a great week.